I'd like to share a story with you. Slug Needs a Hug. Makes me a little bit sad with this. It's a lovely ending at the end. Once upon a time, there was a little slimy, spotty, shiny, whiny slug. He was wet and weedy, and he was very, very needy. And he was always greedy because he wanted a hug. His mummy didn't hug him, and that began to bug him. And he wondered, why, oh why? Why, oh why, is she never snuggly? Is it because I'm so ugly? Said Sluggy with a soggy little sigh, looking at himself in a puddle. He spoke to other creatures with very different features and asked them what they thought he should do. Should he make himself more huggable? Should he be less slithery and sluggable? For sadly, he was sluggy, and they didn't have a clue. Oh dear. He's trying to find out, bless him. Perhaps if you were furrier and fluffier and purrier, said the kitten, then your mum might hug you tight. So Slug, he put on a woolly hat that got a picture of a cat and a furry jacket, just in case she might. You look funny, Chummy. If you want a hug from Mummy, said Bird, you need feathers and a beak like me. Piglet roared with laughter. If it's hugs the slug is after, he needs trotters and a tail and a squeak, oink, oink, oink. Oh, they're all giving him advice now what he needs to do. With trotters, tail and coat and beak and feathers. Slug met Goat, who told him that he looked a little bit weird. Look at all this on Slug. If you want a hug, my friend, you need horns stuck at the end. And get yourself a handsome goatee beard. Gosh, all this advice just for a hug. Slug did as Goat suggested, and he sensibly invested in some horns and a moustache made out of string. Moth looked aghast and muttered, and he whispered as he fluttered, Slug, you need some wings, you silly little thing. Lots of these words are rhyming, have you noticed? Muttered, spluttered. Slug made himself a pair of wings, but he couldn't fly into the air. Air. His wings were scarlet petals from a rose, and although he smelt delightful, Fox declared that he looked rather frightful, and he'd never get a hug without a nose. He's got to have a nose now. Oh dear. Should I lose the beak? Thought Slug. If I really want a hug, would Mummy love me more with just a snout? There was very little space to wear them both upon his face, but Sluggy did, just in case there was any doubt. So he's got a beak and a nose. Slug guzzled. Slug gazed into the brook at his astonishing new look, and he barely recognised his own reflection. If she doesn't hug you now, then she never will, said Cow, as she gave the slug a head-to-toe inspection. Hoping Cow was right, Slug chugged slowly home that night to show his mum his fabulous disguise. But after all that he had done, she didn't recognise her son. Mother, it's me, said Slug. Surprise! But I love you as you are. You're the sweetest slug by far, said his mum. You've been very greatly missed. You're beautiful and charming. If I could, I'd hug you, darling. But alas, I've got no arms, and so you'll have to have a kiss. Oh, the end.